Welcome to the William Wagener Show on issues the network media is usually too afraid to tackle. I'm Pamela Wistrom, tonight's co-host. And now for the host and star of this 14-year weekly TV show, the one and only William J. Wagener. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
Pamela
very
Wistrom.
much. You're so cute. You're so cute. Thank you, Pam. Well, tonight I would like to tell you a few things about what you're going to see tonight. We're going to pull a series of clips about the Bundy Ranch in Nevada and what's happening tonight. I had hoped to have, taking my hat off for you people, because you're the intelligent people. You're the only people that can save this country from the criminals that are running our country. And I do mean criminals running our country. Bundys are ranchers right south of Mesquite, Nevada on I-15. And if you haven't heard about this yet, then that's just proof that the major media is failing to do their job. They don't want you to understand that the last rancher out of about 55 ranchers, the very last one, a man named Cleveland Bundy, I think he's the third generation or fourth generation of Bundys that have been ranching this land. His mother still lives on private property next to the public land that their cattle have been grazing since before the BLM existed. Here's a time where we the people should stand up. This is the time when we should demand, absolutely demand, Harry REID, U.S. Senator from Nevada's resignation. And here's my reason why, and I'm going to bring you some video clips. Other people have researched and came to the same conclusion. They tried to shut these ranchers down over a desert tortoise. The cattle weren't hurting the desert tortoise at all. So they set up a sanctuary for the desert tortoise. Then the tortoise multiplied so fast in the sanctuary area. Tortoise. These tortoise, fat, chubby little creatures, were thriving. So then the government started to euthanize the tortoises. The same government, the federal government that set all this crap in motion, is killing the very tortoises in the sanctuary that 25 years ago they started driving the ranchers off, tried to get Bundy off. They tried to buy his private parcel. He has some privately owned ranch land, and then his cattle go out. He grows melons on his private land and cattle on part of his private land, and then the cattle go out on this public land that is, virtually useless for most of us to do anything. It's hilly, it's rocky, little streams, little places where there's some wet grass here and there. And they're trying to force them off. Harry REID specifically wants the Bundys off so he can make money with his son, Rory, who's got a connection to the ENN Corporation. Now you look up these corporations that want to build not just one, three huge, gigantic solar farms to collect solar energy and then pipe it to California, right to us. So we can shut down our power plants and be totally dependent on another state, the state of Nevada. But it isn't just the state. This ENN Corporation is a Chinese corporation, and it isn't just any Chinese corporation. So America in California, and you ranchers here in Santa Barbara, northern Santa Barbara, should be really out there at the party they're having right now tonight, right where the confrontation took place down by the river. They're having a party tonight. I just talked to Carol Bundy less than 2 hours ago. Harry REID wants to shut them down, bring in the Chinese to set up solar farms just to collect energy. We could do that ourselves. Or they could ask the Bundys to set up on part of the land and let the Bundys make the profit. No, they want to drive all the Americans off, bring a Chinese corporation to sell Americans their own solar energy. Hello? Does that strike anybody's just a little bit peculiar? Just a little bit maybe? Think about this. A corporation owned by, oh, don't say it's Obama, it's all Obama's fault. Yeah, Obama's going along with the program, but I want to recall to your memory that under George W. Bush, are you listening, Pamela? Under George W. Bush, Bush proposed we let a foreign corporation run security at all of America's seaports, from Portland and Seattle down to San Diego to Long Beach, California, Tallahassee, Florida, Philadelphia, New York Harbor, all would be under a foreign corporation protecting us from would-be bombers. Then, as someone started to do some research, and it turned out the very corporation Bush was proposing had multiple members on the board of directors who were from a communist nation. Now, I don't know about you, but I think we, the people, ought to be really upset about George W. Bush. So this isn't just an Obama cluster muck. This has been going on through several presidencies. And you have to look what's behind what they're putting out there. At the same time, the BLM was pointing rifles and sniper guns at the unarmed Bundy family, including the cowgirls, the cowgals, Shauna and Bailey, and I think Carol Bundy was out there with her husband, Cleveland. They were pointing guns at cowboys who were simply saying, give us back our cattle and get the hell off our land. And when they said our land, they didn't just mean the private land owned by the Bundy Ranch. They meant also the public land, which is not federal land, it's public land in the state of Nevada. And we're going to show you a clip here in a little while that will show you that they were intentionally, with malice aforethought, trying to precipitate an armed conflict. Now, Harry REID is out there from Nevada. He's a U.S. Senator, should have been gotten rid of him a long time ago. He's only there because the mafia wants him there, because he does their bidding. What the mafia wants, Harry REID makes sure they get. It's just as simple as that. And you can go out there and they will tell you, oh, the mafia's all gone. We've cleaned up Nevada. That's all horseradish or horse feces. They haven't cleaned it up. They're very much still there, very much still in control. You think I'm joking. I'm not joking. People, I'm not joking. So here are the federales, the American federales, dressed up, wearing patches that says BLM. When does the Bureau of Land Management need SWAT teams? When they're trespassing, when they're violating the Fourth Amendment, the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, the 10th Amendment, and particularly the Fifth Amendment. Now, they will argue and they will say, no doubt, excuse me, but Bundy's lost in court. Excuse me, that court, who pays those judges? The government. Who does the government kick ass for? The U.S. senators and the clueless congressmen like our Lois Capps. She should have been grandfathered out of office, or grandmother out of office. She is so senile. And you ought to call Lois Capps and just say, why aren't you standing up against Senator Harry REID, who wants to take American cowboys off the land they've been on for at least 4, maybe 5 generations? Before the BLM existed, before the state of Nevada existed, ranchers and cattlemen were out there grazing cattle. And they tore up, the BLM, the federales, the American federales, tore up the water lines that took 4 generations of Bundys to develop. And it isn't just the cattle that thrive because of it. The desert tortoise thrives on it. little birds and types of fish and frogs and all kinds of things thrive because the Bundys have made this desolate land that I wouldn't want to live in, you probably wouldn't want to live in. But tonight, they got a band, they got music, they are partying down at the Bundy Ranch, right down by the river. And if you get off there to go towards Bunkersville, and I'm sure you'll see flags and signs. Of course, none of you are going to pick up here and drive 6 hours out there. But it's happening right now as we do this live show on Friday, the last Friday of April. It's happening there right now. And I keep wondering why the BLM has not been arrested by the Clark County Sheriff's Department. They saw these guys pointing, that's brandishing, against unarmed Bundy ranchers. Now it's true, the militia was there, and the militia came from out of state, and they were pointing rifles. And I have a sneaky hunch there's going to be a lot of partying at the Bundy Ranch to keep entertaining the militia and bringing them in. So when the U.S. Army or the BLM decide they're going to go in with, 500, 1,000 armed thugs, and I think thugs is the only proper word. Now I know there's other people do radio shows and they would say, oh, we can't call the BLM thugs. They work for us. Oh, really? Do they? If they come and point a gun at you where you've been farming or ranching and say, get out of here. We're taking your cattle and we're going to do whatever we want with your cattle. You lost in court. And of course, the courts are one of those, kangaroo courts where the judges hop over civil liberties. They avoid the Constitution. They avoid the fact that these people were grandfathered in. It's really a shame. Let me just mention here, there's a One Voice United Prayer thing coming up. Santa Maria Valley National Day of Prayer, Thursday, May 1st, really soon, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Santa Maria Fair Park at 937 South Thornburg. So that with one mind and one voice you may glorify God and Father our Lord Jesus Christ. That's the prayer day, May 1st, 2014, 11 to 1 p.m., 937 Thornburg in Santa Maria. Okay, I did that little plug. And it doesn't hurt to mention God once in a while, because without God, I don't think any of us would be here at all. So if you get a chance, we got such a bunch of criminals. We have Tom Snedden and his gang of snakes that tried to crucify Michael Jackson and put him in jail and get him killed, no doubt, in prison. 9 years ago, the trial was going on. Right now, 9 years ago, they had just about seen all the bullshit evidence. Oh, did I say that word? Bull cracky evidence. And the jury wasn't buying any of it. We had criminals in the county level. We have criminals running in the state house. Criminals move from the state house during their lobbyist pocket gorging with, bribe money. Then they move up to Congress. Like that black woman who was head of the, she was assembly leader there. Forget her name. Now she's a Congress critter. No doubt getting bigger bribes to do worse things. That's all this Bundy thing is about. Stealing from the citizens and giving to foreign corporations. So when you do your research and you say, oh my God, it's true. ENN is a owned corporation. They just use this ENN title to hide the fact is behind it. And when they bring in, if they get their solar panels installed, we can put solar panels. We got lots of desert in California. Why do they have to push this Bundy rancher off his ranch all the way out there by Mesquite, almost into Utah, up in the northeast corner of Nevada? Why do they have to push him off his ranch to put solar panels to pipe energy to California? Something not right with that, because we've got the Mojave Desert. We've got a whole bunch of empty desert area in California. We could put up solar panels and pipe it over to the coast. We wouldn't lose as much energy over the miles that they have to send it.